Welcome back to Socially Served. I'm your host Frank Sroka, and I'm here with Raymond from the Accessible Travel Advisory Committee.
Hello.
With the TTC. Hi Raymond, how are you?
Good, how are you doing?
Not bad. We're actually going to talk a little bit about sort of upcoming changes that have been in effect with the TTC to make it a little bit more accessible.
Sure.
So maybe you can tell us a little bit about that. And I understand Coxwell Station here has an accessible elevator.
Yes, so Coxwell Station, where we are now, is the one of the most recent stations to get an elevator installed. So now it's fully accessible from the subway platform all the way to street level. And there is a schedule to make all stations accessible by the year 2025. So it's a pretty aggressive project. So every year from now until 2025, a few stations will come online as accessible, so it's really exciting. It opens up new areas of the city for people to travel with taking the subway, so it's really exciting.
And we have to keep in mind too, as the stations they're older, it's really difficult to retrofit a lot of the stations, and it's going to take some time, but I think it's a great step in the right direction.
Yeah.
I think it's fantastic. And maybe you could tell us a little bit about what the advisory committee does do for the TTC.
Sure. So I'm part of the advisory committee on accessible transit, and basically what we do is we provide advice to the TTC about pretty much anything that has to do with accessibility or that affects seniors or people with disabilities. So we look at things like the vehicles, when they order new vehicles, we test them out. We look at stations, the way things are designed, communications, wheel-trans is obviously its own big thing. There's a lot going on with wheel-trans these days, and modernizing it and adding more improvements. So we basically work with the TTC to give them advice from real-world experience, and we have 15 members, and so we have meetings. We meet a couple times a month. And we have a variety of people that have experience in different areas. Some people use wheelchairs, walkers, some people are blind, some people know expertise in cognitive disabilities. So there's a lot of different experience and skills, and it's all towards making everything as accessible as possible.
All right, that's an awful lot of work.
It is. It's a lot of work.
So it's you mentioned about sort of making transit more accessible, and I know recently we were on location and we actually taped with the exploratory bus. Maybe you can tell us a little bit about that. I mean, you had some people in there to kind of make sure that the buses look accessible and kind of learn from that experience.
Yeah, and that's part of a new program. So there's a really new travel training program, is what it's called. And that's in order to help more people use the conventional system. So conventional means like subways, the regular buses or streetcars. And so everybody kind of recognized that there are people that could probably use, the buses and the subways, but maybe they don't know how, or they don't feel confident to just try one day on their own. So this is a program where they can go in. They have where you were at, where there's like a bus in a safe, environment. You can just explore, see how much space there is, how you can move in, and just get acclimated and learn from actual staff about how to take the TTC, so you can be more independent. So it's a really new program, but it's really exciting. It's been done other places, been very successful.
So does all the feedback that you gain from that that system, that environment, does that go back to the advisory committee? Is that kind of get that feedback and kind of learn best practices?
It's like a two-way thing. So we give advice, but we also learn. We get a lot of feedback from the public and through things like the travel training. So for us on ACAT, anytime we hear stuff, we always take it into mind and try to pass it along to the right people and just kind of connect the dots and improve these programs and things over time. So
that's great. That's great. And so other new things that are happening too, and I understand too that you have a new for support persons. I guess there is a new policy in place for that with the TTC.
Yeah. So there's something called the support persons card. So this is a way that to travel if you need somebody with you to help you. So that could be an attendant, it could be a family member or something like that. And what you do is you can apply. I think if you go to ttc.ca, you search for support person card, you should be able to find it somewhere in there under accessibility.
Okay.
But you basically fill out an application and then you get this card. And what that means is when you go to take the bus or the subway or Wheel-Trans or anything, you have to pay a fare, but the person you're with gets on for free with that card. So
they can help navigate you through the system, which is really important at certain peak times too, right? I mean,
for sure, a lot of crowding at certain times. And, Yeah. So some people need a little help, and this is a way of recognizing, to help them, so they don't have to pay double fare just because they need someone with them.
And any changes with Wheel-Trans that we should be aware of at all, or?
Sure, yeah, there's a lot of changes. So right now, Wheel-Trans is on something called the Wheel-Trans 10-year strategy. That's a 10-year plan to sort of modernize Wheel-Trans and make it more inclusive for as many different needs as possible. So a lot of sort of mini things are happening, but are big things. So one of them is there's a new phone line system now, which so now you can have them call you back, for example. So instead of waiting on hold for sometimes it can be a long time, you can hit a button and then it'll phone you back when the line is free or when your turn is up. There's also coming up soon there's going to be a new website to book your rides on Wheel-Trans, so modernizing that, adding some new features, so that'll be pretty cool. That'll be coming up soon. And there's a lot of little changes, like there's been more policies that have been updated and put online, so people can get more like clarity on certain things, like what's a policy for guide dogs and different things like that. So there's that. So there's a lot of things happening.
That's great.
There's gonna be a lot more too. So some of them I can't talk about yet.
That's great. Okay. Well, but this is leaps and bounds. This is terrific. It's all about improving the system so people can navigate through it effectively. So, how does one become involved with the advisory committee in any way? Like, if someone is interested in joining the advisory committee, because it seems like you have lots going on and you need lots of help. How does one go about doing that?
So basically every year we have an application process. So every year we pick 5 new members, and then 5 of the existing people retire, quote unquote, from ACAT.
Okay.
So it's like a rotating basis. So every member is a member for 3 years, basically. So it's 5, 5, and 5. And in order to apply, so we just finished the application period for this year, for 2019, but basically in October of every year there's a application that you fill out and you answer a bunch of questions, and then from there they call some of them in for interviews, and just to get a sense of what your experience is, what you can bring to the table. So a lot of it's just real world experience, or somebody that maybe advocates for others on a regular basis as well. So anything that you can bring is relevant. And the other thing I should mention is actually you have to, there's these information sessions that you attend. For every year in October, there's 2 information sessions.
Right.
And that's when we give all the information about how to apply and
so
then we go from there.
So they're information sessions. So are those prior to people applying, or
so you have to go to that first. So in order to apply, you have to go to the information session. They're usually held in the beginning of October, and then usually in September there's something called the Public Forum on Accessible Transit. So that's an event that's held every year. It's sort of like a town hall style meeting. So it has everything to do with accessibility, and then people get to voice their questions or comments or whatever they want to say. So at the town hall, that's when they announce like when the information sessions are for the upcoming year.
So do you find there's a lot of people who do apply to be on the advisory committee, that it's quite popular, that people want to be involved and engaged in what's happening?
There is, yeah. There's a good response from people. I think overall people contribute, I find, in a lot of ways, even just joining like the public forum, or people can also do what's called a deputation at ACAT. So every month we have a public meeting, and if somebody wants to come and speak for 5 minutes to us and give us a comment, or they have a concern, they can voice it to us, and then we can get a response from the TTC and see if we can take their ideas. Maybe they have a good idea how to improve
Great
something.
way to get that feedback.
Yeah.
Right. Well, Raymond, it's been a pleasure having you on our show with Socially Served. And is there any information that, or a number that people should call, or a website that they should go to if they want to find any more information regarding the advisory committee or about TTC?
I would say just go to ttc.ca. There's a page there on ACAT, so it's ACAT, and there you can find information about what we're all about. You can find when our public meetings are, so people are always welcome to come and just observe those meetings, that they can start getting involved that way. And really that's the main source of information where all the up-to-date stuff is.
Great.
So yeah.
Well, thanks again so much, and
Thank you for having me.
Oh, my pleasure, my pleasure. And thank you, viewers, for joining us on Socially Served, and we'll see you next time.